Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest night,
No evil shall escape my sight.
but those who worship evil's might.
beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me as always, Master of the Core, it is.
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And again, still no Matt Kona, but maybe a few people clap,
He'll hear you. Maybe.
Clap. Maybe Matt Kona will show up in a Tinkerbell costume.
That's disturbing on a number of levels.
With the beard and everything. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Episode 67, man.
That's right. Oh, I'm going to have to see if Little Hellfire's free in 2 weeks. Okay. Okay, but yes, before we get to tonight's episodes, I mean, we have sad news and sad news. I believe, since the last time, well, we didn't mention one the last time, and since, yes, we've lost two comic creators, of course. We lost Neal Adams.
Very much a part of Green Lantern history and
Heck, Batman.
and everything. Yeah. I mean, the X-Men and the Avengers over at Marvel.
Kree-Skrull War.
Yeah. Continuity Studios. I mean, yeah. Cast a very long shadow.
Oh, yeah. Revitalized Batman with Denny O'Neil.
Batman, my favorite character.
And then
then we knew it was coming, but it still hit hard. Yeah, George Perez passed away on Friday.
Yeah, that was sad too. I mean, he has done such a huge body of work, and just being such a just generally awesome human too. I mean,
oh yeah, because did I read something somewhere? Someone said it's like he never charged for, I don't know if it was sketches or autographs. Or like he never.
I think it was autographs.
Yeah, instead he just he would whatever charity he was promoting at that time. He's like, just give it to that charity or whatever.
I think it was the Hero Initiative.
But I think they said from time to time he would do the other ones also.
So yeah, to some creators who's enriched a lot of lives. So
that's right. All right, let's cheer this up a little bit. All right. Did you catch the finale of Picard season 2?
Yes, and I'm glad it's over.
Oh,
it just, I don't know. It started out pretty focused, and then it just kind of went. It never seemed to regain its focus, and
so
I mean, I really like all the actors and actresses. And,
but
and there was that nice surprise. Can we spoil the end with a guest appearance by a certain young Wesley Crusher, who's
shut up, Wesley,
which I thought was really cool. It's just that, I mean, they should have been wrapping stuff up sooner because everything just kind of happened all at once there at the end. And with that many ships stopping an event that could take out an entire sector, doesn't seem that realistic, even with,
I mean, I could almost see something happening with that in season 3, maybe. So I get that. But my whole thing is, what's her face, Dr. Girardi, who's like
Uh-huh.
a board queen now. So what? So that happened in the 21st century. So she's just been sitting around 300-400 years, letting people get assimilated, and Wolf 359 and all that jazz.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I understand what they were doing. I just feel like the execution wasn't quite there.
Yeah. And I get the giving the happy ending to Rios, but aren't we worried about polluting the timeline? Prime Directive, hello. Temporal Prime Directive, hello.
Now, having said, now that you bring up the Prime Directive, Strange New Worlds was freaking awesome.
Yes. I love that. I love Pike, just with the, I'm going to die in 10 years.
Yeah. And then it was that's where they changed General Order 1. They're going to rename it and call it the Prime Directive.
Oh, yes.
That'll never stick.
So is he seeing his death, or is he seeing himself trapped in that chair?
See, because he didn't die there. He goes and lives with the the race that we actually saw in season 2 of Discovery, and in the original pilot to Star Trek, the original series.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was really good, and that actor is great that plays Pike.
Oh
And
yeah, Anson Mount. Yeah.
The rest of the cast, I think they did a really good job on too. Spock is good. We saw him in number 1. But yeah, I was.
Yeah, young Uhura. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it had a really great. I really like the visual aesthetic too. They're
Yes.
carrying some of that over from Discovery, but they're also kind of making it their own. But yeah,
Exactly.
it was impressive, and it looks like they're going to be just doing kind of done in one. Instead of having these big season arcs. I'm sure there'll be some continuing subplots and stuff, but
Yeah.
I kind of like that too. I mean, it was good.
Oh yeah, it was very good.
And then of course Moon Knight ended.
Yes. What do you think about the end of that?
I'm glad they finally explained, because that happened that happened early in the season. It was episode 2 where he blacked out and lots of people ended up dead. And well,
I figured that's who it was going to be, but yeah.
Yeah. So
they have to do a season 2.
Yeah. Well, they don't have to, because they could do it. They own everything. They can do.
I know, but
it'd be nice.
Just the way they left it, and if the streaming numbers were good, I mean, I'm sure they'll back the money truck up to Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, they backed up a dump truck full of money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought it was really well done.
Oh yeah.
Trying to think what else we've been watching. We've been catching up on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Because we never watched it, and I think we're up to season 6 now. That is just an awesome show.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Oh, I'm sure you didn't see Doctor Strange yet.
Not yet. Nope.
It's good. It's good.
I've heard it's a little bit polarizing, because you either like it or you don't like it. There's no kind of in between.
I guess I could see that. I mean, there's a few things in there like, oh, they went there. I didn't think they were going to go there, but they went there. I mean, it's Sam Raimi, so it has more of a horror vibe than like the first one. Yeah, and it's only 2 hours and 6 minutes, so it's not like one of these, long
3-hour opuses.
Yeah. Yeah, because you hear multiverse, you think they're going to be all over the place. That's a pretty straightforward thing.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I definitely want to see it. I just don't want to see it with a bunch of people yet.
And I think they're kind of hinting around at where they're going to be going with these movies next.
In the after credits?
No, just stuff that's said.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how much you want to be spoiled, but I can say one word and you might be like, oh, okay.
Go for it, man. It's okay.
Incursions. Like 2 universes smashing to get member and like 2015 incursions.
Okay. Interesting.
And wait till you see who's on the Illuminati.
Definitely not one of my favorite developments in Marvel Comics history, but whatever. You sent me some information on,
Oh yeah.
was it Dark Crisis #3? The cover is Hal making ring constructs of the
Justice League.
Justice
Yeah.
League.
After I sent you that, I saw a colored one. It looks awesome because you could tell the Justice League are all green. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Well,
with that Daniel Sampier or whatever. Yeah.
Does that mean Dark Crisis #1 is due out soon?
Well, Dark Crisis 0 came out on Free Comic Book Day. That was the DC's Free Comic Book Day issue. It was pretty decent.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
I think it's supposed to be soon, but here, let me look this up. But yeah, no, the Dark Crisis #0 for Free Comic Book Day was pretty good. There was like a Wally West first Clayface battle. Nightwing gave the eulogy for the Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Just teasing stuff and just none of the big bads are making any moves at the moment. But they're like, why are all these small little groups like Cobra like going nuts all of a sudden?
Well, did you listen to that interview with Jeffrey Thorne on, I think it was the Comics Cube?
Oh no, I did not. Oh, okay. Dark Crisis #1, June 7th. So
okay.
We have a little bit of time. Yeah,
I would have expected, if they're already teasing #3.
I know.
I would have expected it to be coming out.
Well, again, like I said, it's for the rest of the year, so I guess there's
any Green Lantern kind of presence in this Dark Crisis 0, or just the background appearances?
Not really. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did you see the link I sent you today? They were showing that. Remember I said a lot of the Justice League members are getting a World Without a Justice League special.
Oh.
The Green Lantern one, it's saying, yeah, we're getting, I guess, new looks for John Stewart and Kyle Rayner. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was
Kyle Rayner.
Anyway, that was in the interview. Thorne said, yeah, he wanted to bring Guy back. Well, he was bringing Guy back, but he's going to do it a different way. So we know Guy survived. Okay, but we hadn't heard anything about Kyle yet, which is what kind of reminded me about that. Let me look at that real quick.
But yeah, again, I don't know if it's real, if it's the real Cal, because it's like there's also, I guess they're going to get a version of Jason Todd in it. And as far as I know, Jason Todd's still alive and running around the regular DC universe.
Yeah.
Are we testing the waters to say, what if we slap a ring on Jason Todd?
Yeah, I've heard some weird rumors about that.
And why would it be a green ring? Why didn't it be like a...
Yeah.
I can see maybe yellow, definitely red.
Definitely red.
Oh, Lord. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's like a weird, like, like made up universe for John Stewart, because John Stewart takes flight to defend his planet as the Emerald Knight of Justice alongside allies Red Hood and the Blind Prophet, Kyle Rayner.
Well, that's interesting.
Uh-huh. What you do to my boy?
Yeah. So did Kyle show up in the first issue of this series, of the latest Green Lantern series?
I don't think. I'm trying to remember. He might have like called in, maybe. I don't think he was actually.
I need to go back and reread those 12 issues, because Thorne is still dumping on his Patreon his annotations for each issue. I think he's up to like issue 7 by now. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was either just a mention of Kyle, or like I know some of them like just like called in, but yeah, the only thing I have to reread too, because the other thing I remember is them saying, "Oh yeah, Cal's over, way over in whatever sector."
Yeah, it's interesting because we haven't. I mean, there was minor appearances by like John and Guy and maybe Kyle in Grant Morrison, Liam Sharp, the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
But so, that's basically 2 years and 3 months, because you had the Black Stars in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So from there all the way up to now, you're talking 3 years and 3 months, right? 3 years and 4 months, because we've got a month now without a Green Lantern title or more.
Yeah.
where Kyle really hasn't appeared, right?
Yeah, no.
And very little, if any, Guy. A lot of John, which is cool. We like John. But, you know, very little Kilowog, very little Salak.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like with John dead, now's a chance to, put some more lanterns in the spotlight. I mean, again, everything I keep seeing, because supposedly we have all the younger heroes running around, but every preview I see or sneak peek of Dark Crisis, I either see either Dick Grayson or Hal Jordan running around. So
Yeah. I just think it's weird that we don't have a Green Lantern book. I mean, that's strange.
yeah,
in my
because
mind.
supposedly, like in this new grouping, like I don't know, I guess Joe's going to be their Green Lantern. No Green Lantern book for Joe or anything.
Yeah, I mean, and we've got Jessica as a Yellow Lantern. Sorry, spoilers from a year ago, I guess. I mean, so the big, we've got Hal, we've got Guy, John, Kyle, Joe, Jessica, Simon, and then you've got the alien.
Yeah.
With Kilowog, Salak. Trying to think. Soranik. I don't know what happened. There's so much I missed out on by not reading New 52 and Rebirth. But Soranik was a big one. We had a lot of GLs in that Green Lantern Corps title.
Oh yeah,
which was really awesome. And I don't know with what happened. Was it New 52 or was it Rebirth? I can't remember. I only know about it. I don't know what happened. Did all of the entities go away?
I can't remember.
And do we still have the 7 cores, or are some of them now defunct? Or I mean, now that Thorn is brought back, we know that the nicer side of the spectrum all have rings now, except for the Indigo tribe.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm gonna have to do my reread too, because some of those I just read like one time and
then dumped them. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I'm waiting for some of this stuff I haven't read that many times over and over.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so much of, once Mars left, I think I've got some of the issues, but I don't necessarily remember reading. I don't even remember reading some of the Mars issues at this point. So
I know. Oh, and then we got Blackest Night between here and the end there.
Oh yeah, that was kind of a big deal, wasn't it?
And I'm looking for the thing. I thought I saw somewhere. Is it like that the HBO Max series that's supposed to be starting or ending filming at the end of the year? I thought I saw something.
Yeah, I think I saw that too. That may have been on the Reddit, Green
Maybe.
Lantern or Green Lantern Corps Reddit.
But yeah, I thought it said something about the end of the year that they were starting or ending.
Oh, and I hope to have, well, I'll just tell you straight up. I hope to have another Funko back there come next show.
Ooh.
The one that I've wanted the most.
Oh. Did you show a big box or did you find one for a good price?
That's right. About $25 for the number 9. That was not bad. And I think it was free shipping too. So I went ahead and said, okay, I got it.
Oh yeah, I've seen ones for like close to or like $100. Yeah, no, that's
So I've got a pretty good start on my core back there. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Hal Jordan.
All right, should we?
We're treating these almost like Guy Gardner issues.
I know. I was gonna say, should we get to these issues? I actually pulled the issues out of storage because 2 of the 3 weren't on the DC app.
Oh wow!
Only the Green Lantern issue was.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's the middle of the arc. Yeah,
you would think that they would have that Green Lantern run on there too, but
yeah. Well, I mean, the Green Lantern issue was there, but I'm like, okay, so a 3-part story, you only put part 2 up.
Yeah, why not have the whole Green Arrow? Sorry, I meant to say, why not have the whole Green Arrow series on there?
Yeah, so I thought they always did that. It's like they either put the whole crossover up or none of it.
Oh, that reminds me. Sorry, Green Arrow, we're coming. Did you see the trailer for the Beware My Power animated film?
Yes. Oh no. I forgot to watch the trailer, but yeah, I did see the announcement. Yeah, kids, we're getting a Jon Stewart animated movie.
That's right. Looks like he and Green Arrow are gonna be kind of buddies a little bit.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I'm opening the link again now. When was that? Did it say July?
I think so.
I'm looking. Trying to look at this real quick.
Now,
yeah, July 26th.
awesome. That's the first Green Lantern stuff we've had, except for Young Justice, which
In
I
a
still need to
while,
watch that
yeah.
episode. Yeah, because there was Green Lantern Emerald Knights, Green Lantern
First Flight.
And then of course we had not really, but really a Green Lantern story. We had New Frontier,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty darn awesome by the late Darwin Cook.
Thank goodness the 4K Blu-ray and digital comes out the same day. So
Same
I hate when
time.
they put digital out early. Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone's like, I'm waiting for the disc.
that's right.
But sometimes you get extra stuff if you buy the physical.
That's right. Maybe it'll come with a ring. We like rings, right?
Oh yeah. That'd be awesome if it was a ring. Oh yeah, they must have announced it. This is one of the ones they announced in this last October at DC Fandom.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I forgot about that. All right. Should we get to these issues, Will?
Let's do it.
All right. I know this wasn't your favorite, but I mean, it seems like a Green Arrow story because it kind of is a Green Arrow story, even though it's like, yeah, there's one issue of Cal's book, but it's kind of like a Green Arrow story guest starring Green Lantern.
Yeah, pretty much. And let's get started. I have some issues with the plot a little bit that just didn't necessarily ring all that true to me, but whatever.
So on the Green Lantern podcast, this didn't ring true to you.
I totally did that by accident.
All right. So yes, kids. This it's 2 issues of Green Arrow and 1 Green Lantern. So yeah, it starts in Green Arrow number 1, volume 2, number 125, October 1997. Hate Crimes, part 1 of 3, The Fiery Furnace. Cheerful. All right, writer Chuck Dixon, penciler William Rosado and Doug Brathwaite, inker Robert Campanella and Robin Riggs, colorist Lee Lothridge, letterer John Costanza, editor Darren Vincenzo. So yeah, this is basically the Green Arrow regular team at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Convicted mass murderer Nicholas Cotero is loaded onto a prison van for transfer, though he doesn't realize that his most hated foe, Oliver Queen, is dead or wandering around with amnesia since someone brought him back to life. Final night. Spoilers.
Parallax. Sorry.
He still dreams of getting revenge against him. On the road, Cotero manipulates the federal marshal and the prison guard into arguing with one another, giving him the opportunity to grab an officer's gun and make his escape.
Yeah, I have a problem with that whole thing. You're going to believe what this obviously psychotic, super dangerous criminal tells you, and yeah, okay.
I mean, I guess in a clumsy way, and I guess maybe Dixon was just trying to show, yes, this guy's a master manipulator,
Yeah, I think he's also. I mean, if you read the whole thing, I think he also says that basically everybody is racist to some point, and I don't know that I buy that completely.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say to some point. He says it's just right under the surface.
Yeah.
Everybody's about ready to explode and start beating on each other because they're all racist. And not saying America's great, but I don't feel it just seemed a little too easy and too kind of pat, and then the ending of it was like, oh, okay, it's all water under the bridge. But if it's
Yeah.
there, I
Yeah.
just
Again, I think for expediency's sake, yeah, I think he, everything kind of cycled through very quickly. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, a couple years ago, I was like, this is ridiculous. But in the last couple years, I'm like, it's just,
Well, yeah,
there are people out there like this.
there certainly are. In my experience, and I choose to believe that most people are not this way. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I'm choosing to believe.
I believe, yeah. The people like this, they're the vast minority, but sometimes they're the loudest.
Yeah. But and I'm curious. There's really nothing. I mean, you could almost remove Green Lantern from this story and it not really affect anything. You could
Yeah.
You could plot around there not being a Green Lantern here.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if Cal is once again being used as a sales booster, because I mean this book ends like in another year, because I think it is 137 is the last one. So yeah, so
perhaps that's so.
In about almost exactly a year to the day. Yeah, this is coming to an end. So I would assume we're trying to help Green Arrow's numbers, because
that would have been 24 years ago.
Something like that. I guess Conor Hawk wasn't doing the numbers, and then I don't know how soon the whole Kevin Smith
relaunch happened.
Yeah, it was. I think it happened in like 2001 or something, but I don't know how early the plans were going into this, because shocking as this may be to believe, kids, Kevin Smith may have been running late on stuff, so it might have taken a while.
Did he ever finish that other series? Sorry.
Which one? My God, I'm still waiting for his last Batman miniseries.
Oh yeah,
that he left on a cliffhanger. Like, what was that? 2009.
Thinking that may not happen.
Yeah. You know what? I actually a few years ago I was able to meet some of the comic book men at the con near here. And Walt Flanagan was like, "Oh yeah, we're still coming." His artist, but it's like this was pre-COVID, kids. So breath.
Nice.
Oh my God, Daredevil the Target. That was supposed to be a miniseries. He only got one issue of that out.
Yeah. Did he fit? And then he was doing a Black Cat series too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's 6 issues. Took 2 or 3 years to come out, but he actually eventually got all those out.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, we went way off topic with that.
I know. All right. So, meanwhile, sometime later, New York, Green Arrow, Conor Hawk, of course, and Master Jansen go shopping with Connor's mother. Conor is still uncomfortable with the fact that his mother is married to arms dealer Milo Armitage, but he knows that simply telling her that Armitage is bad isn't enough, and that she must learn of his shady business practices on her own. Yeah, that's the whole story, kids, is like she's some kind of like, hippie who, I don't know, had a run in with Oliver Queen and all. Yeah, so Conor Hawk is Oliver's biological son, who spent many years in a monastery where he learned the martial arts. From this Master Jansen, yes.
And he can use a bow and arrow as well.
Yes.
Because he's now Green Arrow.
Did you see that? I mean, in the latest line of hey, let's explore DC characters' sexuality. I guess they're coming out. A couple weeks ago, they said, I guess they're going to make Conor Hawk asexual.
Yeah, I think I may have read something about that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Chuck Dixon was flipping out online. He's like, no. He's like, no, that's not what I meant. I just meant he didn't have experience with women. I mean, he was asexual. Oh my God. I mean, some of his views are out there, but like Chuck Dixon, dude, if you look for him some stuff, it's funny because when they announced Sony was trying to do an El Muerto movie, the guy who showed up in that, exactly 2 Spider-Man issues, who's like a Mexican wrestler.
Wow.
Chuck Dixon was like, wait, they're ripping off Bane? But yeah, I don't know what's Sony, man. They're just digging the bottom of the barrel.
They're Spider-Man. They got the Spider-Man, right?
Oh yeah, I saw a meme online. They were like, the first picture was like a headline that said top 10 worst Spider-Man villains, and then the second picture was just supposed to be Sony going, yes.
Nice. Very nice.
All right. So here's your quick recap on Conor Hawk. Suddenly, several hover ships speed down a busy street and open fire on storefronts owned by various ethnic groups. One of the armed pilots uses a cluster gun in an open crowd. Conor springs into action and engages the gunman. Fortunately, help arrives just in time. Green Lantern. Here's our boy. I'm wondering if Cal wasn't in this story at all, like you were saying, if you take him out, would these still have been hover ships, or would we just be getting like drive-bys or something?
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I think it could have been really easy to just change it to be something that Conor could deal with, or there are a lot of other street level heroes out there. You could have had a crossover with Batman or Robin or Nightwing or
Oh yeah, especially since Chuck Dixon was writing them all at this point.
All at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Good
Batman,
point.
my favorite character.
I don't know. To me,
I guess he was trying to work on the friendship, the hard traveling heroes, next generation.
Yeah, it's just this.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if this originally would have been like a drive-by, but since we made it hovercrafts and like laser guns because
we
need an excuse to bring in Kyle. Yeah.
I just don't. I don't feel like this story really did Kyle any favors or anything. It was just,
I think we're just trying to bump up Conor Hawk at this point. Especially tying in the one issue of Green. That's what I'm like. Why was this one only 3? I mean, this one didn't need 4 issues, but the last one was 4. So I was like, did Mars maybe not want to do a crossover? He's like, okay, I'll give you 1.
I don't know. Or the editors? I mean, who knows?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Because they had different editors, right? Kevin Dooley was still editor on Green Lantern, and he was an editor on Green Arrow, right?
No. Who's the editor on this? Oh yeah, Vincenzo is the editor on this. Yeah.
Yeah. The world may never know.
Yeah, or scheduling maybe, or who knows. One of the gunmen fires at Green Lantern, momentarily stunning him. As Cal gets back to his feet, the hover ships speed away. Cal and Conor share a few words and agree to meet back up later. Elsewhere, Nicholas Cotero enters an abandoned warehouse facility. He has kidnapped 2 different families and is holding them prisoner in an underground dungeon. He attempts to placate the scared prisoners by saying that they will be fine so long as their hubbies and daddies continue to do exactly what Uncle Nicky has instructed them to do.
He doesn't seem to be hiding. I mean, is he just
I know, I was like, no one's looking for this guy?
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that they would be because they knew he escaped, I assume. And
I mean, I'm assuming
that bad at their job?
I know. I guess it's like certain authorities are looking for him, but the rest of the world probably has forgotten about him because he's been in prison for so long. That's kind of what they were going for. But I think, as promised, Conor and Cal meet up that evening and go to the Statue of Liberty. They talk about their respective mentors, and Cal mentions that he never really got to know his predecessor, Hal Jordan. Well, stay tuned, kids.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for August, kids.
Stay tuned.
Conor tells Cal stories about how his father and Hal, though polar opposites in so many ways, always tried to fight the good fight.
That's August of next year, right?
No. Oh, I'm talking Emerald Knights.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. I thought.
No, this August. No. After reminiscing some more, the two eventually part company. Back at Moonday's apartment, that's Connor's mother. Back at Moonday's apartment, Milo Armitage watches a televised broadcast of commentator August Phipps. Phipps espouses ideas of racial superiority, and Milo finds himself agreeing with most of Phipps' rhetoric. Boy, the arms dealer, huh? Yeah. Who would have seen that coming? He even tells Master Jansen that that America has mismanaged our minorities. Oh,
Oh my God.
fair and
I-
balanced, kids.
that
Fair and
was-
balanced.
That was a pretty cringy line right there. I was
I
like,
know.
what?
If you had any doubt who the bad guy was. In opposition to Phipps, another media commentator, Cyrus Bramlett, gives a racially charged speech concerning immigrants and an alleged sense of entitlement. Viewers watching the broadcast from a bar cheer him on and tempers begin to heat up. Nicholas Catero is present in the bar and exacerbates the issue with a few racially charged quips. A fight breaks out and carries out onto the street. The police arrive, but as tempers flare, one trigger-happy officer opens fire and accidentally kills an innocent man. Such incidents begin to repeat themselves throughout the city and doesn't take long before riots begin to break out. Connor and Cal show up to quell some of the violence, but even they are unsure of the best way to handle the situation. Meanwhile, executives at a WGBS affiliate station are looking to capitalize on the power of August Phipps' commentaries as well as Cyrus Bramlett's speeches. That would never happen.
Never. No.
So Connor and Cal are surrounded. So we had the issue. All right, Will, thoughts?
You know,
And yes, kids, this was a double-sized issue. So
I think I've mentioned my issues with it.
that's the other weird thing. The beginning of this story, yes, is a double-sized issue 125. So
Yeah, divisible by 5. So.
yes, but again, if you're going to do an oversized 125, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I know it.
Do another road trip if you want to bring Cal in. Do another road trip.
Yeah, it's just it seemed a little. The pacing seemed a little strange to me too.
Yeah.
It was really. It was odd. But
Unless we were going to do another 4, and for some reason I'm going to cut down the 3.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, Dixon is a very good writer.
It's not Guy Gardner level, but
yeah, I mean, Dixon is a very good writer.
Oh yeah,
or he was a very good writer. I don't know if he still is. I haven't read anything recently, but I don't know that this just doesn't seem like some of his best work.
Again, I think it's a lot of, hey, we got to crowbar Cal Rayner into this. Yeah, I mean, I think this would have been better if it had just been a Green Arrow story.
Yeah. I feel like that too, and I don't know if that's
or if the guest star had been street level, like you were saying, also, yeah.
And that may have been an editorial thing, an editorial requirement versus what the writer wanted to do. So I don't know, but it was not an auspicious beginning. How about that for this crossover?
I mean, there's history for the franchises to be friends, but doesn't it seem like in this era, it's like we're trying to make Cal best buddies with everybody, Connor, Wally. I mean, I know the ages are kind of same anyway, but it just seems like all of a sudden we're trying to make Cal everyone's best friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know whether because 1, he's the new guy, 2, he's holding the legacy up, or 3,
or sales,
or yes, his book's selling good.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some combination of all 3, maybe none of them.
Yeah, just ask Ray. That's why Batman's everyone's best friend.
Batman, my favorite character.
All right, on to the next issue.
Yes, sir. All right, so, all right, kids, we're gonna get to the Green Lantern issue tonight. Yes, there's one. All right, yeah, let's see if there's any. I mean, I did read this, but we'll see how much of a difference there is. All right, so Green Lantern, Volume 3, number 92, November, also 1997. Fanning the Fires. Of course, writer, friend of the show.
This is Ron Mars. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Penciler, Daryl Banks. Inker, Terry Austin. Colorist, Rob Schwager. Letterer, Chris Iliopoulos, and editors, plural, Dana Curtin and Kevin Dooley. So, yes, completely different teams, different writers, different pencilers, inkers, colorists, editors, everything's different. So
And there didn't seem to be a lot of action. This seemed to be a lot of
talk. Yeah,
A
that's
lot
what
of
I'm
talk.
wondering if like we kind of just created a part two. It's like, hey, we want to go into the Green Lantern book. So
because maybe they didn't. It started in Green Arrow. It's going to end in Green Arrow. This is just kind of
yeah, very bridging. Yes.
just bridging those two pieces.
Yes. Riots break out across the city as a controversial talking head, Cyrus Bramlett, and Austin Phipps pollute the airwaves with racially charged rhetoric. Green Lantern and Green Arrow try to maintain control, but they are heavily outnumbered by an angry mob. To complicate issues, armored men on hovercrafts begin flying across the danger zones, inciting tension even further by causing widespread property damage. Green Lantern disarms one of the men, and Conor recognizes their ordnance as a type of weaponry that his stepfather, Milo Armitage, deals in. From the shadows of a nearby alleyway, Nicholas Katera watches the spectacle with glee. Yeah, that is I think, like you were saying, that's the weirdest thing about these stories is like, yeah, Katero gets taken down at the end, but for most of the story, it's just him standing in the shadows going, yes, excellent,
Well,
yes.
and something else interesting that I just kind of noticed as I was, walking back through the art on the Green Arrow books. I don't know if it was the colorist, but it was very muddy and dark, and Green Lantern was not. I mean, it's although I see it felt like a little darker than it normally was to me, and I don't know if that's just because of what I read before and after it.
You're reading digitally, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like the art in the book, it is like darker. I don't know if it's like the inkers or the colorist or what, but it does look darker than Cal's books. I would just wonder if maybe it didn't translate as well to digital.
Maybe, yeah.
Some of the early stuff, especially 90s, because how some dark some of these 90s books, visually dark these 90s book. Yeah. Sometimes I don't think it translates well. Meanwhile, Miss Kelly of WGBS brokers a deal with two networks who agree to publicly air a live debate between Bramlett and Phipps in Central Park. Kelly isn't concerned about the potential threat of violence, but only seeks to further her own career. Oh God! Okay, ready for this? Miss Kelly, what's her first name? Megan.
Nice.
Thank you. Sometime later, Cal and Conor change into civilian attire. Yes, all this stuff's going down. Let's take a coffee break. Cal and Conor change into civilian attire and stop at Radu's coffee shop. I love Cal. It seems like every issue now, Cal's like, "Oh yeah, I love that logo." Guess who did that?
Who did that? Hey, that's an awesome logo, isn't it? Oh yeah, I did that.
Is that Banks going? Hey, guess who designed that? Hey, businesses outside of comics. Guess who designed that? Conor meets Radu as well as Cal. This says Cal's girlfriend. Are they officially a couple yet? Jenny Lynn Hayden.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, because they don't seem like this synopsis says it, but I don't think they were still roommates.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think that necklace has disappeared yet. Spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Master Jansen.
My heart is breaking. Sorry.
I know. Master Jansen comes in and tells Conor about a strange videotape that he came across. The videotape contains recorded speeches of Bramlett and Phipps, but Master Jansen feels there's something wrong with the video. Cal has his neighbor Nate, a video specialist, analyze the tape. Oh my God, this seems like something out of a TV show. It's like, oh, zoom in.
Just keep zooming. You can keep zooming. No, you can't actually keep zooming.
Especially as something like, it's like, I know, we can go to my neighbor. Like they don't even take it to the lab. Maybe if you went to Star Labs or something, but they're like, hey, let's go to my next door neighbor.
Exactly.
He's a film student.
Film student at NYU. No.
After researching the data at length, okay, here's where we stretch the bounds of credibility. He discovers that the image of Bramlett and Phipps are actually digitally altered composites of Nicholas Katero. Didn't this guy just get out of jail 5 minutes ago? So now he's doing all this digital.
How? I don't know.
I mean, where's he getting all the equipment for this? Bramlett and Phipps do not actually exist. Katero manufactured these characters and recorded his own voice, mixed to sound like two separate people in order to perpetuate a race war.
Wait a minute. And why would he go to New York if he's after Green Arrow? Because Green Arrow doesn't usually hang in New York, right?
Yeah, and
I mean, we're talking Ollie, right? Ollie would be hanging out in.
Yeah, and I think Connor's visiting. Connor isn't even hanging around New York regularly. Yeah, no, because I think Connor's like living on the West Coast. So I don't know either. I mean, I'm trying to remember. Was Connor here before this story? Because I was going to say, did he see some news reports about Green Arrow in New York? I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, unless he just decided to pick New York, and it's like, oh, hey, Green Arrow's here. Great,
great. I'll get him too.
I could kill two birds with one crappy plot. Yes,
exactly.
Oh my god! And again, I know we're trying to be more realistic here, but it's like you people live in the DC and again, Connor and Master Jansen lived in a monastery for many years, but it's like you live in a universe with like Superman and
Wonder Woman, Green.
Yes,
Lantern.
but a bunch of aliens, Starfire, and it's like, oh, Green Woman, and it's like, if nothing else, wouldn't you be like, oh, hey, why'd you paint yourself green?
Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. So we have Jade, a green woman. We have, was Moraine blue?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm wondering if we have the women of the emotional spectrum.
Oh.
Just because Starfire's orange, so that gives us another one.
Shut it down. Shut it down. DC, you ain't getting this for free. Come see us. No.
I'm sure there's some red women and
I was gonna say red, yellow. Wait. Yeah.
Probably couldn't do that. That would not be cool.
Yeah.
But blue, indigo, and violet. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Jade has to have some kind of connection. She's green. She has Green Lantern like powers organically. So
yeah, we don't know how that.
Starheart.
Starheart. Excuse me. Sorry.
Using that Starheart like Viagra. Come on. But yeah, this one was very much a bridging. And again, hey, we're in the middle. Some guys plotting race riots and digital imagery. But hey, let's take a coffee break.
That's right. Why not?
Meet my landlord.
And look at its awesome logo.
Yes. I need the work because I always put off whatever work I do get.
Exactly. Destination, procrastination.
Oh, nice. All right. Should we get to
Not
the last?
That I have any experience with that.
When's the last time you updated that website?
Yeah, it's been a while.
All right. Should we get to the last one?
You bet.
All right. So green. It all ends in Green Arrow 126 again, November. Oh, so did we get two issues of Green Arrow this month? It's saying because did the first one say November also? Oh, the cover saying October. So I don't know. Figure it out. All right. So yeah, November 97, Hate Crimes, Part 3 of 3, All the Colors of Hate. Writer Chuck, same creative team as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Having just discovered that mass murderer Nicholas Katero created the personalities of Cyrus Bramlett and Austin Phipps to incite a city-wide race riot, Green Arrow and Green Lantern patrol the skies of New York in search of him. They also discover that some of the armored men seen at the riots have been using weaponry that they purchased from Connor's stepfather, Milo Armitage. They go to the apartment where Milo and Connor's mother are living, and Connor exposes Milo's illicit arms training. Moonday has finally had enough of her husband and demands that he get his act together. Cal, meanwhile, goes to the state prison to interrogate one of the captured Sky Bandits. After terrifying him with different ring constructs based on James Cameron movie characters, he manages to glean a little bit of information concerning Katero's whereabouts.
You make the Batman proud.
This was pre-Avatar, so he didn't include
Yes.
giant blue people. But
Oh, yeah. Did you see that? Well, I guess that sequel's coming someday soon.
Mhm.
Like took what, 12, 13 years?
Yeah.
At Central Park, WGBS hosts a reputedly live satellite broadcast debate between Cyrus Bramlett and Austin Phipps. While mounted police officers keep an eye on an emotionally tense crowd, Green Arrow and Green Lantern go to the WGBS affiliate office and show the producers the falsified videotape. Station manager Miss Kelly gives the heroes the ground source for the satellite feed. Cal learns that Katero has kidnapped the families of the radio stations that first hosted the Bramlett Phipps debates. While Cal goes to rescue the family members, Connor goes to Central Park. Connor disrupts the park broadcast and exposes the entire affair as a fraud in front of dozens of people. Nicholas Katero, hiding behind stage, sneaks up on Connor and tries to kill him. Yeah, he comes up behind him. It's like, die, Queen! He is shocked to discover that his intended victim is not Oliver Queen, as he had believed, but rather Queen's son. Katero reveals that his entire scheme was designed to bait Oliver Queen into a trap so he could avenge himself against him.
Then why go to New York? Why would
I
you not
know.
do this in what's the city that
Star City?
Star City. Why not go to Star City? That doesn't make any sense. But
Did he do 5 minutes of homework and be like, hey, no one's seen Green Arrow in a while? What? I mean, 5 minutes on the was the internet wasn't what it was today, but in 97, couldn't you still go on the internet and be like, oh, hey, Oliver Queen died, or hey, the original Green Arrow died?
Yeah, I mean,
or hey, at least he hasn't been seen in Star City in many years.
Maybe you should go to New York instead. Maybe that's what he did. I don't know, but it just doesn't make any sense.
I know. Connor easily incapacitates Katero, and he is taken into custody. The end. Okay. I get that it's Connor's book, and we want him to take down Katero because Katero has to be like, hey, you're not Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you send Cal to Central Park and have Connor free the hostages? I mean, maybe if you think it's it was booby trapped with those hostages. So I mean, it was kind of good that Cal was there to bubble them up when that
But
bomb.
Connor's a ninja too, so
True, but I'm just thinking in the park with all these people,
yeah,
Cal can be throwing up walls and bubbles
and technically he could probably do both because he can fly really fast, and
yeah, they could have stayed together, yeah, and did both, yeah.
Yeah,
but again, they want Connor to take down his, one of his.
Yeah, I mean, it's his book and it's his. So I get it. It's just, I don't know. This didn't feel like, the best use of Green Lantern. And I know it's a crossover, but I mean, even in his own book, he barely had. It's more of a quiet. We're gonna make some inroads into his personal life type issue versus
lots of talking. I mean, they have to get out of that ride from the end of the first issue, but it's like, most of it's talking and hey, look at this videotape.
Yeah. So I mean, it
was a very Green Arrow story. Yeah,
very Green Arrow centric story, and then I just don't feel like it was the best, and I don't know if it was a combination of the story plus the art plus the colors. I mean, it just it didn't.
The art wasn't bad in the Green Arrow stories, but it's very different than what Banks was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think we said that the last crossover. It's like neither art is bad, but they're very different styles, so it kind of takes out of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this crossover didn't do Green Lantern any favors. I mean, it was just, hey, it didn't really intrude a lot on the Green Lantern book anyway. I mean, they found some stuff, but
again, it's like, unless you want to see how they get out of that riot from the end of the first issue or how they find the videotape, you really don't even need the Green Arrow issue. I mean, the Green Lantern issue.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, as far as the crossovers go, I don't think this was a better one, but I mean, it's
Again, I
not
think
horrible.
we were stretching to like get Cal's book in 3 issues. I mean, you could have did this in just the 2 Green Arrow books.
Yeah, I think so. I really do.
Or again, give them more stuff in to do in Cal's book. Like, they could have interrogated Milo in the Green Lantern book, but I guess since he's dating Connor's mom, we need to do that in
exactly. That's, I mean,
I wonder if Mars got like notes where it's like, yeah, don't go too far. We just,
these are the
reveal
guardrails. This is what you can do.
get them out of the situation, get them out of the cliffhanger from issue 1, and then eventually get to that videotape.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's not oh my god,
it's not bad, but
it's not bad. It's just not.
It's very much a Green Arrow story.
Yeah, and a Green Arrow of the time story, which is, and I'll be honest, it's not a book that I was reading at the time, and because it wasn't kind of something that I was interested in. So,
well, again, I don't think the sales were the best on this.
Yeah.
I do remember that because I think that was kind of Kevin Smith's pitch. He's like, "Hey, you want Green Arrow sales back up?" Because I'm pretty sure they
bring it back.
This may have been one of the lower selling. Well, I'm pretty sure it was one of the lower selling books. So. Again, that's why we rock Callan.
That's right.
All right. Anything else, or do you want your homework for next week?
I want homework for next week.
All right. Yeah, kids. I kind of tweaked the schedule. I didn't take anything out. I just added a few things. So yes, we're still gonna get the same stuff, but maybe just a little more. All right, here we are. Okay, next week we'll be covering Green Lantern 93 and 94, and I believe it's at 94. One of them crosses over with Superboy 47. So
Superboy 47 as well.
yes. So. But again, we'll be getting more Green Lantern than
Well, and I haven't read these yet, but if I remember right, was Superboy still like Tom Grummett doing the art, or
I believe so. I know it is that series. I'm trying to. I think he might have still been on the art. Maybe.
So I mean, I think
I believe the crossover is in Hawaii. So yeah.
So I think the art styles are going to mesh a little bit better on that crossover than what we just saw on this one.
They're a little bit closer. Yeah. And again, two super powered characters. Yeah, I think it's been a long time since I read this too. So. But I think it'll work a little better, since they're both super powered and it's not like street level. And you may say, I want more crossovers. Well, good, because in 2 weeks, you're going to be getting Green Lantern 95, 96. We'll be back for Green Arrow 130 and the Flash 135. That's that 3 of a kind crossover. And I also added the Green Lantern 80-page giant #1.
Woohoo! 80 pages.
Right now. All right, so yes, send your thoughts. There's 2 weeks worth of homework, kids. So email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Sector 2814 on Facebook, on Twitter. Join the Green Lantern fan group on Facebook. And again, always, every episode we do, whether it's a regular episode like this, a creator interview, no matter what we're doing, everything gets a video. Every episode gets a video on YouTube. So, it's free. Smash that subscribe button so you never miss a minute of anything we do.
Smash it.
And also, if you want more content, yes, go to our Patreon. Again, we're paying for this out of our own pocket. Every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you exclusive access, early access to creator interviews, Mr. DG Chichester every month talking to me and Love.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And superhero movie brackets. We will find the worst superhero movie of all time. We crowned the Marvel winner in April. In May, the May episode, we'll start the DCs with Batman Forever versus Batman and Robin. So he's already a patron, so Ray's going to be tuned in.
Batman, my favorite character.
And a 30-year-old Robin, a.k.a. Chris O'Donnell. So, yes, tune in for that. And if that's not enough, pick yourself up some Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find everything at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. Yes, I also have drops. So, here we go. Your mama's so big, Thanos had to snap twice. That's an old one. All right, so yes, kids, and again, hopefully we'll see his like again one day soon. But yes, for now, you can follow Matt Kona on all social media, everywhere on the internet, all over the web, even whether he likes it or not. At Matt Kona, MATTKONA. Go find him. He's the best.
He gives me his bone. Fuck it, Lilith.
See you later, bunkies.
All right, William Allred, master of the core, master of the quantum zone, master of the crossover division, master of the Kickstarter. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Walred. That's at WALLRED at Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and other social media that I probably forgot that I've set up. But you can also find Crossover Division at crossoverdivision.com. The issue number 3 is at the printer, and we're going to be launching number 4 at the end of this month. So if you want to sign up to be notified when we launch, you can go to crossoverdivision.com/KS for Kickstarter or crossoverdivision.com/Kickstarter and hit the pre-launch page and smash that notify me on launch button. I said smash it.
Smash it.
Phil. If you want to check out Diary of Night, you can check out diaryofnight.com, which is another book that I've kickstarted. And of course, there's all kinds of great stuff about Quasar at the Quantum Zone at quantumzone.org. If you want to find out more stuff where you can find stuff by me and about me, you can go to Linktree. That's linktr.ee.com/WALLRED.
Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
I hope it's going somewhere nice.
He goes limp in my grip.
Star Blast.
Yeah, boys, you look at the party. I love the party.
All right, kids. So thank you for joining us again next week. Green Lantern 93, 94, and Superboy 47. Leather jackets. It's going to be so nice.
So 90s.
See a different kind of team up. Well, again, it'll be the reverse. 2 out of 3 issues will be Kyle's book, so.
Nice.
Then in 2 weeks we add Flash to the mix. All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, watch your words. Good night.